Doing great, Josh. Glad to be in the hills of East Tennessee tonight at the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby. We're here for some short track racing tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, and I just realized my microphone wasn't turned on. I do apologize for that. But yes, it's Bristol, baby. It's going to be a good time here tonight. Bristol night race. What could be better than that? These trucks are going to be putting on quite the show here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt these gladiators are getting ready to take on the last great Coliseum. So a lot of exciting racing that we'll see tonight. You know, a lot of tempers are going to flare, some short track racing, some bumping, banging. You know what they say, rubbing's racing, and we're here for it tonight.
Yeah, I know this track is actually in your backyard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this is definitely a home track for me. Holds a place near and dear to my heart. Got to sit in the stands and watch a lot of races here. Get to go on the track every now and then as far as charity rides and the Christmas show that they put on every year with the Speedway and lights. So a lot of great things that they do over there in Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. And these guys had a pretty good showing last night. As right now we see, this is the 75 machine on track right now. This is Stony Benfield. Oh, catches the wall there off the corner, which is easy to do here. It's a track where you try to catch and have as much speed as you can. Sometimes you can just push up that wall and hit that wall just a little bit.
Yeah, these guys are running sub 15-second laps here. So we'll see tonight. You know, this is a high banked, very fast track, but when collisions happen, wrecks happen, the track gets clogged up extremely fast. So it's going to be hard for these guys to check up quickly. You know, a single car spin like we see there with the 21 can lead to a big deal. You know, a lot of these cars won't be able to get checked up in time. So fast reaction times and knowing your surroundings is definitely going to be key tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, even though it's a short track, Bristol is, it you still have the opportunity to have the big one.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I kind of equate it to like if you've been running officials in Daytona this week, you know, a one car wreck can collect 15 to 20 cars, and that could do that here if you don't get stopped in time.
See Jonathan Cofield on track right there, real loose there off the corner, off of four there, catching that wall. And unfortunately, these guys catching that wall there, it's not going to help them any in qualifying. It's going to disqualify their times.
Yeah, right now we have the 42 again, and Cypher's up to the top of the board with a 1492 with a great lap there.
Man, sub 15-second stops or laps right there is see Austin Blayblock just finished his lap. He's going to be sitting down in third as of right now. We still got a lot of guys out on track. Here's Derek Chaput coming through 3 and 4 now.
Chaput with that bright yellow paint scheme again, so he's going to stick out for us tonight. So hopefully that'll be a truck that we can hone in on for a good run tonight.
And one thing you notice, he's really off the wall as he comes down the straightaways here. And normally you want to be right up against that wall, but yeah, he's a little further down.
Yeah, typically here, you know, I like to run my first lap around the wall, one to get some heat in the tires, build that good run off of four to get a good run to the line, and then I tend to kind of dime in the corner, start from the top, and work my way off to straighten it out as much as I can to get a good fast lap down. So we see Isaiah Gill go to the top of the 1490.
Isaiah Gill didn't race last night. They had a little issue with their dump trucks last night, but they both him and Nudie look like they're back in the race tonight, and they're going to be putting on quite the show. You know, Isaiah had some issues last week, and, you know, I'm not trying to single the guy out, but we do know that here at Bristol, this is a very slick track, and what we saw at Atlanta last week might not be from Isaiah, but we can definitely expect that out of somebody tonight spinning those tires.
Yeah, mistakes will be made. It's extremely easy to do here. So these guys better be ready for anything. Restarts will be wild. They'll be stacked in on top of each other. And like you said, you know, if you look, the straightaways are banked as well as the corners are very high banked, and it's hard to get that power down on that concrete surface. You know, this is one of only two tracks on the NASCAR circuit that are concrete, Dover being the second. You know, they create great racing, but it also means you've really got to drive these cars.
Yeah, and both Dover and Bristol have something else in common. They're both very high bank, fast tracks. So even though they're shorter in distance, they are incredibly high speed tracks.
Yeah, Bristol's known as the fastest half mile in the world. You know, they tend to get to moving around here like we see Colin Williams to the top there with a 1488. For these trucks, big heavy trucks, you know, that's a fast lap.
Yeah, and Colin Williams was our winner last night in the Cup Series. See if he can go back to back here at Bristol. It looks like right now Derek Chapuis is out there just trying to put some laps down, get some comfort while he's got time. Because it shows that we got about 5 minutes left in qualifying here. So while these guys are still out there running some laps, let's see if we can get the points up here for you. Well, we see right now, after Atlanta, Devin Bushino with 1 win up at the top of the board. Dustin Dean, 11 points back. He's got a playoff point, though, and you see Devin's got those 2 playoff points, so that's an advantage for him come the postseason. Austin Blaylock also got a playoff point, and Colin Willems, another winner. He has those 2 playoff points, but he's sitting way back there. He had a rough going at Daytona, so I know he fell way back in points, but climbing his way back up there in the top 20.
Yeah, I would love to look at 6th through 11th there. Those guys there, they're separated by 3 total points. Brian Nudie sitting in 6th with 27, and then Alan Wernicke sitting in 11th with 30 points. So those guys are very tight. Just a few positions can definitely change a lot in these point standings tonight.
That is for sure, and especially a race like tonight where, again, it's almost like a super speedway. It's almost like a throwaway race. You got to worry about what's going on around you. You could have a wreck in turn 3, you're in turn 1, and you still get caught up in it because you just can't slow down fast enough.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I definitely consider these short track races, such as Bristol, not as much Martinsville, because Martinsville is extremely technical, to be wild card races, just like Talladega or Daytona. We could see a first time winner tonight, or we could see someone who's dominant, just like Mr. Williams was last night. So it'll be extremely interesting how the cautions fall, how these incidents fall tonight, and if these guys are able to battle through adversity.
For sure. And we saw last night in the Cup Series quite a bit of adversity as we had a bunch of drivers, unfortunately, out early due to a couple wrecks early. But hopefully tonight we'll see that a little different. And another thing I saw last night that was a little different was the amount of buildup that was on this track. So iRacing's done a really good job over the years of working on tire models and working on surface models and things like that. And last night I noticed the entire apron and up against the wall was completely covered in marbles. So, and those marbles do get stuck on the tires. They can cause lack of traction. So, if for some reason we have a green flag pit stop, which we may have, or if somebody goes in late and just takes fuel and has those hot tires and picks up all that debris, it could cause some be hectic for those guys trying to get back on track.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Bristol. It's a worn concrete surface, so you really can see the light gray. And as the rubber gets laid down, you'll see that dark line from the tires laying down that rubber where these guys are running. I think tonight, though, if you're able to make that bottom work, you're really gonna be able to make moves through this field because a lot of these guys are going to be hanging it out there high, wide, and handsome. So if you're able to save a little bit of tire, make your car rotate on the bottom, you're going to really be able to gain a lot of positions.
And we had a late qualifier come up, and Michael White jumping to the top of the board with a 1488.
Yeah, he beat out Colin Williams there by 1,000th of a second. He ran a 1488 with a 7, and Colin had a 1488 with an 8. So 2 very, very close laps. Top 2 only, like I said, spread out by 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, the top 10's separated by a 10th. So, yeah, this is going to be a exciting race, as tight as those times are. I imagine it's going to get even tighter once they're all on track. So we got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left in qualifying. And what's the key to success here, Zach?
So managing your runs, keeping your car out of trouble. Granted, downforce and aerodynamics aren't going to be as big of a factor here. It's more mechanical grip, putting your truck in smart places, not forcing the issue 3 wide because, yeah, it looks like you can go 3 wide on this track, but those straightaways tighten up hard off the corners and it'll be hard to keep it off of everyone. So just being patient, understanding that you are on a short track, you are going to get frustrated, you are going to beat and bang doors with other vehicles. So don't let that get you in a bind and worried about, what's going on around you, and just focus forward.
Yep, and I think the big technical thing for me here is the line. Everybody drives a little different line around this track. I like to personally enter real high And once I get near the apex of the corner, I try to diamond it down to get that run down the hill. Some guys like to run that pure high line. Some people like to run the low line. And last night we saw um, Stephen Black, and I apologize, I can't remember which one of the Maze boys it was, but I think it was Kyle. Kyle was running that high lane, and Steven was running the middle lane, and they were able to pretty much stay even with each other. So it's interesting when you can run different lines and still have the same kind of speed through the race there.
Yeah, for sure. As long as you can back that corner up, you can save the tire to be able to keep up with those in front of you as we take a look here at our starting lineup.
And as we mentioned on pole tonight, Michael White in the 09 machine, 14,887. And Colin Willems out there on the outside with a 14,888. And Isaiah Gill starting third. He's going to be joined with Gannon Cyphers outside of him on row 2.
Yeah, picking up row 3 here, we have Logan Hagerman in P5, Austin Blaylock in P6, Jacob Bowen in P7, Brian Morrell Jr. in 8th there on the outside of row 4.
The 11 machine, Dylan Redding's rolling off 9th. James Moore rounding out row 5. Stephen Black, who had a great run last night, got some trouble towards the end. He'll be rolling off 11th. And Will Cloud Jr. in that 12th spot.
Zach McBride in lucky number 13th, Nicholas Ford in 14th. We have Bailey Jones in 15th, Dustin Buck in 16th, and you see Dustin Dean there, marked back deep in the field in 17th. And to his outside, you have Derek Chapu.
Devin Buccino in the 68 machine. He'll be rolling off 19th with Brandon White on the outside in 20th. Alan Warnecki in the 72. He'll be rolling off 21st. And Jimmy McFarland in the 14 outside row 11.
Yeah, picking up row 12 here, we have Michael Lawrence on the inside, and then Michael Provault to his outside. So we got the Mike and Mike show back there. We have Matt Knights in 25th, Brian Nudie in 26th, didn't take a time. Stoney Benfield in 27th, also looks like his time was disallowed from where we saw him catch the wall. In 28th, we have Jackson Qualley.
Rounding out the field, TJ Floyd in the 49th. He'll be rolling out 29th. Greg Froelich in the 71 and 30th. Sylvan Seymour going to be in the 66. He'll be rolling off 31st. Jonathan Cofield, he'll be rolling off 32nd. Max McClure is actually running race control tonight, so he's just kind of filling the field there. And lastly, in the 34th spot, Mike Rentz Jr. As these guys start rolling for their first of 2 pace laps here. And if you're watching up on Facebook tonight, go ahead and shout out your favorite driver. Anything you want to say, within reason, keep it PG-13. We're not attacking people out here tonight. But anything you want to say, show your shout outs out there. We'll try to read them as we go along. And this really just shows you the amount of this track here, how wide it really isn't. I mean, it's a tough track to get around. And
yeah, it is very deceiving. You know, you feel like you're going to be able to run 3 wide, like I said, make it work, but it is extremely difficult for that to happen. You're going to be right next door to door with these trucks, and there's going to be some beating and banging and a lot of excitement coming out of tonight.
As we're getting ready to go green flag racing here, that pace car is going to take that hard left-hand turn onto the front stretch pits. We'll talk about the pits in a little while too, and we have a yellow here. Colin Williams going to lead him to the line. Green flag is in the air. Colin with a great jump on that outside line.
Yeah, I don't know if he caught Michael sleeping there or what, but Michael's just going to slide up into second there and allow Colin to drive away.
Yeah, and that outside. Oh, we got a spin already.
Spin. He was able to save it, it appears, down on the apron as we stay green.
No, and the yellow is out now.
Oh, yellow is out now. So we were talking about the specialty of Bristol and the pit roads. Bristol has dual pit roads. You have a pit road on the front stretch as well as the back stretch, and they are utilizing dual pit roads tonight. So that means under green flag conditions, you enter in on the side that you're pitted on. You don't have to make the trek all the way around from the entrance or excuse me, the exit of turn 2 all the way back around to the front stretch.
So it looks like we've got the replay dialed up here. It looks like it kind of stacks up in front of Bailey Jones, and you see Austin Blaylock down there getting loose on the bottom side, and I think Bailey might hit the brakes a little hard seeing that check up in front of her. He's sideways across the track, and you see the 72 machine get hit from behind by the
So he
foot.
just barely missed the truck there parked on the apron.
And you see how quickly the track just closes up in front of everybody. So
Yeah, unlike Dover, this is not a self-cleaning track. You know, we were talking about the similarities as far as the concrete surface and stuff go. Your wrecks can really go any direction here at Bristol.
All right, so we got a couple shout outs on Facebook already. We got Jennifer Bowen saying go 28. We got Cassie Wellams saying let's go Colin in the 18. And Noah Walter says can't stay long. Sorry, Max, I could not race control. Go Will Cloud number 48. And Stephen Black said Isaiah up front with that dump truck experience causing because this thing plows. So sounds like these guys got a bit of a tight truck out there tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely going to make it interesting as far as tire wear goes, because the tire of the truck is either you're going to have to back up that corner more to be able to make it turn, or you're just going to wear that front end out, you know, by cranking wheel into it to make your truck turn and get around this track.
Yeah, and personally for me at a track like Bristol where it's such a slick track, having a little bit tighter setup isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there's points in the race where you actually don't get the full throttle until you're halfway down this front stretch.
Yeah, throttle control really helps you save that right rear tire. You know, if you're not leaning on it, you know, going wide open as soon as you can, you know, you're able to have more drive up off the corner later in the run, which you'll be able to see some of these guys who are good at conserving tires and taking their time. They'll start picking them off one by one as we get a few laps into this, where we get a good green flag run.
So you see the back of the field getting picked up here.
It appears the lights on the pace car is off. I think we'll be going green next time by.
And you can already see that that rubber buildup starting to build up on that high lane, as people aren't running against that wall through the corner just yet.
Definitely some marbles up there, so have to be careful. You see the 18, he's up there in that marble area up next to the wall, so I have to be easy on this restart here, and hopefully won't spin the tires as the pace car makes a hard left on the pit road.
Colin Williams going to lead him back to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. And a great jump. He jumps out to about a 6-car length lead here off Michael White. Isaiah Gill already trying to put some pressure on Michael White there, trying to get around him as he's going to kind of fall back in line. And you can already see a couple cars running that more middle line. Isaiah's running that line I was talking about before. You enter high, and then once you hit that apex, you kind of just drive it down the hill to get the momentum off.
Yeah, as we see Derek Chaput here, he's stuck on the bottom line below Dustin Dean back here fighting for 14th position as he's appears to be getting freight trained on the outside. He's just trying to get slid back up in line so he can follow some of these guys and gain some of that momentum and positions back up that he just lost there.
Yeah, that's a helpless feeling to be in when you already see Isaiah Gill trying to make that move again. But it's a helpless feeling when you're stuck down there on that bottom lane and everybody's just going on by.
Yeah, like we talked earlier about super speedway racing, you know, you get out of the preferred line, you're in trouble here. Those guys can really begin to freight train you on the outside if you don't find a hole and quickly fill it. As we see the 42 pushing real hard up on Isaiah Gill.
And that's going to cost him some time here, as now he's stuck on the bottom. You see Hagerman going around. Hagerman had a great run last night in the Cup Series too. He knows how to get around this place, as you can see right now. He's got a little damage on that right rear. I don't think he's going to hurt his truck too much. Slide job. Jacob Bowen has to check up hard. Stephen Black and Brian Merle kind of slid up in front of him, and
Caution's out again.
Caution is out again.
I believe Bailey Jones was the one that brought out that caution.
See if we can take a look here. Actually, I'm not going to put that one on Bailey. Looking back at this replay, as you're going to see right here, it looks like a little further back from her, there's somebody having a little bit of a connection issue. The 53 there. And she gets, oh no, she gets tagged by TJ Floyd there. And once TJ gets in the back of her, and then that 53 who's having a little bit of a connection issue actually finishes her off there. So it's a tough break for her. She had a great run last night in the Cup Series. And I was hoping to see her do well tonight as well.
Yeah, but like we spoke earlier, as long as there's no engine damage to that truck, she should be okay. Get back out here and get rolling again, because you'll see some of these cars finish the race tonight. They won't have rear ends. They'll be missing fenders. They'll be crinkled up. So the aerodynamics aren't as important here at Bristol as what you would think.
I like that camera view we just saw of the track the long way, so you can kind of see how this track is really laid out. It is really a giant football stadium with a racetrack in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great. I actually got to experience the battle at Bristol that they held there a few years ago when Virginia Tech played Tennessee in the football game there, the largest college football game ever. So that was a really neat experience. But yeah, it's a Coliseum style, very large when you're there as far as seating capacity goes. But it's you don't realize just how banked this track is, that is able to hold these trucks in there and do the speeds that they do in such a short track.
For sure. And Nick Mather says, let's go, Colin. So Colin with quite the fan club again tonight. We normally see out of him. See these cars make their way around the track at these pace laps kind of can feel like forever sometimes, especially when you're someone like Colin who's up at the front, doesn't really want to see these yellows, just wants to get out there and race. Because every time we have a yellow, that means we have a restart. Every time we have a restart, that's an opportunity for someone to make a mistake.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, this is the third highest banked track in NASCAR behind Talladega and Daytona. The corners are banked 30 degrees here. I believe Daytona is 32, if I'm correct.
Yep.
31, 32. So that really shows, what kind of track that they're dealing with tonight. But these guys, they're really going to have to focus up here and focus on getting a good green flag run and taking their time. They still have a lot of laps ahead of them.
That's for sure. As the lights are off on the pace car, these guys are going to be coming back to that restart zone. Fire them up one more time. You see Michael White there on the bottom, really starting to try to clean those tires off, get those marbles off. Trying to get as best a restart as he can get. But that outside line, that tends to be the preferred line here. As Colin Williams is going to bring him back to the restart zone. Green flag in the air, and again, that high lane just fires off so well compared to that bottom lane.
Yeah, Hagerman didn't quite get rolling just like I thought. I thought he was going to be able to get to the outside of White there, but they fall single file there. Looks like first through eighth single file before we start getting stacked up behind them.
And I see some shuffling back around here. The mid-pack. See Dustin Dean, Nick Ford, Dylan Redding. We've got the 019 of Brandon White, Zach McBride. All these guys are jockeying for position right now.
Yeah, if you'll take a look at TJ Floyd back there in 16th, he's up 13 positions from his 29th starting place. So he's marching his way to the front slowly but surely, picking one truck off at a time. As we see what we were talking about, these guys running the high line, and then as they get towards the apex of the corner, they really dive that truck down to the bottom to get the long straight run down these straightaways.
As we ride on board and you see just how much banking this track really has. And you can see how fast things happen. Actually, a camera view that doesn't get used quite enough. This is really going to show how much banking a track like Bristol has. And even on the straightaway, it has more banking than some tracks like New Hampshire has, for instance, or even Martinsville. As we see some smoke up there, I think somebody just lost a motor.
Yeah, we have Isaiah Gills fighting for that third position now with Logan Hagerman. He's trying to make that bottom work and possibly clear Hagerman, but he slides back in behind, and we have cautions out again.
Caution back out on the track. I see a lot of red on my screen, so that's usually not a great indicator of.
Yeah, I think that was somewhere near Jacob Bowen.
Oh yeah, there's a.
Maybe Devin Bacchino was involved in that as well.
See, it looks like the 62 car was the first, or 62 truck, I should say, was the first one to go around, and I'm trying to find him on my screen here. Oh, maybe that's 68. Yeah, that's who it is. It's Devin Bacchino. With all the smoke, it looked like 62. Sorry about that. As we'll see here, looks like Bacchino and the 21 are battling real hard here. And it looks like, yeah, just miscommunication, not knowing that there was a car up there, slides up the track just a little bit. And that's going to block the track here. That's going to cause Bacchino to come back down across track. Catches Austin Blaylock, who had a tough night last night. Looks like his luck is continuing tonight. And then as he's blocked the track, we see more cars just trying to avoid him and come piling in.
Yeah, those guys, for the most part, had really good wreck avoidance there, except you see towards the back, the 66 get tied up and all that. Looks like, I believe the 88 slid in there and got Pacino in the front. So
Billy Jones
really
caught back in
collected,
that.
yeah, really collected 6 to 7 trucks there with pretty considerable damage.
And that's just another product of, the track block. And again, people like Bailey Jones, they were a straightaway away from the wreck when it happened, and they were still caught in it because things just happen so fast. You think, oh, just hit the brakes and you'll be able to slow down, but it just doesn't work that way. These trucks are 3,800 pounds and they're traveling at 150 miles an hour. It doesn't look like it, but they're going fast.
Yeah, if you think you split this track into 4 sections, 2 corners and 2 straightaways and right at 15 seconds, that means they're traveling approximately 2.5 seconds down through each section of the track. Almost 3 seconds, actually, to be about 3.25 seconds through each section of the track to get that 15-second lap. So you're going to get up on traffic quick. So, like you said, if they're a straightaway away, they're just 3 seconds from a wreck and they're on top of it before they know it.
Yep, they're going a football field in 3 seconds around this track. As it looks like the lights are off on the pace car. I see one car taking a wave around here. Looks like he was on the tail end of the lead lap. Going to be able to get back around, catch back up.
Coming around to take the green here, I believe, lap 32 of 150 tonight.
Williams again with that great jump on the outside. Isaiah Gill on the outside of Michael White this time. Is he going to be able to make it work?
He's there, and it looks like he's going to clear Michael. Michael's going to slide up in behind as we see another wreck on the backstretch.
See what happened here. Oh. Looked like somebody got a little help there. Looks like the 48 of Will Cloud Jr. got a little help here coming through the corner. From the 21 of Dustin Dean, right all over his back bumper. Little contact made right there. And
Yeah, that's what I was speaking about earlier. Not putting your truck in bad positions. That was a restart there. In my opinion, there wasn't a need to push that hard that early. Let these guys get single filed out. We weren't even completely up to speed yet. Hadn't even completed a full lap. So these guys need to
ooh,
really focus here, and they're gonna turn some great laps. We have a lot of great drivers in here tonight that'll really be able to put on a show.
and Austin Blaylock getting caught up in that. None of his doing. He just wasn't able to get it woed down in time. 53 coming in, not able to woe it down. Going to hit the apron here, and they're going to get that all straightened out. But now Isaiah Gill's going to be stuck on that inside again. But this time he'll be down in the first row, so I wonder if he can make something happen here. He's watched Colin Willems with that restart enough now. Be able to make something work here.
Yeah, be curious to see how hard Michael White pushes it. He's been real ginger on all these restarts, not getting a good jump from starting on that inside. So I think it's really going to help him starting on the outside behind Colin. Maybe he'll be able to clear Isaiah back for that second position.
And here's another tail of the track right here. You can see how the leader is now crossing the start-finish line. The tail of the field is really a half a lap down already. So when you take the green flag, you're almost a half a lap down at the start if you're at the tail of the field.
Yeah, track position is definitely key here. Like you said, you're starting the beginning of the race. If you've qualified bad or didn't qualify at all, at nearly half a lap down before you even get going. You've seen many Sundays and even through a lot of these different races that we have here on Intensity Broadcasting that have been run at Bristol, your leader can be in lap traffic within 5 to 8 laps, depending on what your tail end of the field looks like.
And you can already see that rubber buildup down around the inside the apron here. As the lights are off on the pace car, we're racking them back up. Do it all over again.
About to send these gladiators back into out at the last great Coliseum.
I see Dylan Redding already up into the 10th spot. He's slowly making his way through the field. And Dustin Dean will be starting at the tail of the field. They were giving him the black flag for that incident, so that's why you'll see him way back there as the pace car pulls off here. Colin Willem leads him back to the green flag. And a great restart from Isaiah Gill. He doesn't allow Colin to really get that jump that he's been getting tonight. You see Michael White trying to get to the bottom here around Logan Hagerman, but Logan's not going to have any of it. But Isaiah Gill already stocking the back bumper of Colin Willems.
Yeah, it looks like Michael White's going to lose another position to Mr. Black here as he's able to clear him. And it looks like the 74 is going to be there as well to try to get by him of Brian Morrell Jr. as he is unable to get there and he slides back in line and they're single file now.
As we look off the back bumper of Colin Willems here, and you can see Isaiah Gill just running right in his tire tracks right now until they get to the apex. And Isaiah's trying to make that run down the corner really work for him. Oh. Looks like a little hiccup there from the connection of the 18.
Yeah, Colin's running a very clean line. He's not using much wheel, so he's not going to use as much tire as what you see Isaiah is. Isaiah's really kind of entering in a little bit lower and sliding that truck up to the middle to turn it back down the track, and that as we see the caution comes back out.
Well, as the caution comes out, as Stephen Black was all over the back bumper of the 7, trying to get around him and just not able to before the caution came out. Let's see what the... So we're going to figure out what happened here. kind of the same thing we've been seeing all night. Just a little bit of impatience from a couple of these drivers. It looks like Stoney Benfield gets caught by I believe that's the 47 of Michael Lawrence here, which it is, and just a little bit of contact. Single car spin right in front of Austin Blaylock again, and Austin cannot catch a break. It just seems like every wreck has happened right in front of Austin, and he's been caught up in every single one of them tonight.
Yeah, very unlucky for him tonight. So hopefully he can rebound and come back strong. If
Right.
not tonight, next week.
We see Austin coming to pit road right now. Let's see if he's got any resets left. Doesn't look like he does. He's going to have to... I believe that's probably going to end his night for the most part. I saw some engine smoke out of that machine, so I don't think he's going to be leaving pit road anytime soon.
So I believe they're going to black flag the 75 for that wreck of Stoney Benfield. So he possibly be going to the rear here, from what I'm hearing from race control.
You see a couple of cars coming to pit road. Looks like Stephen Black on pit road. No, Stephen's still in the second, so...
Stoney Benfield come in. I believe the 35 is also in.
Yep. That's Austin Blaylock. I see the BLA down there. That's who... You see Austin still stuck on pit lane here, trying to get that thing fixed up, and I almost want to pull Austin in for a second to get a quick word with him, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull Austin right in. Hey, Austin, it's Josh and Zach in the booth. You got us? Seems like Austin has stepped away from his vehicle because he was getting that thing fixed up. Either that or he really doesn't want to talk to us right now, which is understandable as well. So we'll have to get his point of view another time. So it looks like we're going to be, I think we're about 1 lap or 2 laps away from going back green here.
Yeah, it appears they're stacking back up and the lights on the pace car are off. So we'll get ready as we enter in onto the back stretch here and send these guys off again for another run.
See, Jennifer Bowen also says, come on 99. Unfortunately, like Austin's night is pretty much done for the evening. As the pace car pulls back onto pit road here. Let's see if Colin can get quite the jump he had last time, which he does. And Stephen Black, looks like he spun the tires just a little bit, allowed Jan Cyphers to get that outside run, but Stephen gets the power down the inside and stays in front.
Yeah, that was an impressive move there by Stephen to be able to clear him. Big wreck in the middle of 3 and 4. Caution's back out.
I saw that happen, and I believe it looked like the 88 of Bailey Jones got tagged and ended up going around. Looks like to be a bit of a common theme tonight here, as we'll see the 21 of Dustin Dean all over her back bumper as they come down into the corner here. It just looks like, yep, she has to check up for the 37. 21 gets in the back of her.
And it sounds like Dustin Dean's going to get parked now, from what race control's saying, after the incident with the 88.
Yeah, if you cause, in this league, if you cause 2 wrecks, you are done for the evening. So, it's like Bailey Jones. Oh, we got Hagerman. Oh, catching the wall. Oh, the 19. Wow.
Into the Space Force there. I didn't know we were going to have a missile launch from Bristol, Tennessee tonight, but if you look into the night sky, you'll be able to see the 19 taking off.
That rewind this one because it looked like hopefully all the spectators are okay over there.
Have to go pick him up from the parking lot.
That's a
Poor
wild.
Bailey's seen a rough night tonight. She's been caught up in a couple different incidents here. Some of those have not necessarily been her fault either.
No, for sure. Just seems like she's been caught up in everybody else's tonight. And while these guys are running under yellow, they're saving a lot of fuel, but they're also saving their tires. As you can see on the screen here, everybody's stayed out so far, so we got just under 100 laps to go. See that?
Yeah, these long pace laps here, sure it's going to let a lot of these guys think about what's been going on tonight. If they've been wronged by someone, maybe not the point in time to retaliate and focus on getting a good finish tonight. A lot of these guys will be able to advance in the points, if they're able to turn out a good finish.
Yeah, especially with the unfortunate events of Dustin Dean getting parked. He was sitting in second place in points, and now he's going to be able to somebody's going to be able to take advantage of that. It looks like the lights are back off on the pace car. We're going to be going back green flag racing in a moment.
As we have a little bit under 100 laps here left tonight at Bristol, Tennessee. Looks like Michael White, did he pit that last time? He's on back in the field here, as well as the two of Isaiah Gill.
It looks like, yeah, Michael White did go in pit, so everybody from 12th on back came in pit. So the pace car's pulling off here. See if Kyle Williams can continue his streak here of great restarts, which he does. Green flag back in the air, and Stephen Block there with the impressive run there. Able to try to stay with him. And man, Jacob Bowen looks like he was shot out of a can. He's underneath the 42 of Gann Cyphers already. He's trying to slide up there in front, but Gann's going to have that outside run, have that momentum to keep him behind him.
Yeah, like back here around the 10th position, we've got a big battle brewing, with these guys with fresher tires than the ones in front of you. As you see Isaiah Gill and Michael White really making that top line work for them, trying to pick off these cars.
Oh, car in the wall.
Oh, looking at a truck in the wall. Able to keep it straight, though. What a save. If he can keep it up off the apron. Oh, as we see, I believe that was the 68 get together. Devin Bacino brings out the caution.
Yeah, that was the 37 of Chapu there. He was able to... Looks like he may have got tagged a little bit. Yeah, we're going to go back a little bit further here so we can see this whole thing unwind here. As we see Chapu here, he catches the wall. And when he bounces off the wall, it kind of checks everybody up here. You see Isaiah Gill do a great job jumping to the outside. Michael White staying off of Isaiah Gill here. And then because Chapu's down on he catches the apron right there, and that's the flattest part of the track. That transition is going to upset the truck tremendously. And the 68 of Pacino, he just has no choice but to kind of go up the track. And unfortunately, the 74 right there gets tagged. That was Brian Merrill Jr. And then everybody else, the field just kind of comes piling in because they've got nowheres to go.
And was that Hagerman that caught up?
Yeah, Hagerman in that
like
light blue car. He's
the
up on the
brunt of that.
outside.
Yep.
He caught a little bit of it. And
like we said, look how quickly the track gets blocked up. We've got 9 to 10 cars there that are getting damaged and everything just because the track's completely blocked and they can't get stopped.
Well, Austin Blaylock did not get caught up in it because he's still up on pit road, so that's a plus for him. And I believe Bailey Jones was able to avoid that one as well. So two of the drivers have had the worst luck on track tonight able to avoid it.
As it looks like we're going to have 19 drivers on the lead lap here. Stony Benfield should have got the lucky dog, I believe, so that'll put 20 cars on the lead lap once we go back green.
Actually, looks like Bailey Jones has parked it for the night as well.
Buccino got an EOL there for that incident, so he'll be starting at the very tail end of the pack when we go green here. I believe the lights on the race truck should be going off this time. No, they're still on, so looks like we got at least 2 more revolutions before we get this thing going back under green flag conditions. So, as a super speedway guy, Josh, how do you feel about the short tracks such as Bristol and Martinsville and some others that we visit?
You know, Bristol's a track that I love to hate. Um, I've had some really, really good runs here, and I've had some really, really, really awful runs here. I'm definitely not a short track kind of guy. Although I do like Bristol due to the fact it's a real momentum track. And it's a real rhythm track. The same thing with Martinsville. Those two tracks to me, you either love them or you hate them, but they're definitely tracks that have some character where you
Oh
can.
yeah, no doubt. Once you figure out what line works for you and what works for you here, as long as you can stay in that, you can definitely make up a lot of time and figure out how to maneuver your way through traffic. So I'm a short track intermediate guy. I'm not the super speedway wizard like you are, but uh, really enjoy tracks like this where a lot of skill comes into it.
The pace car pulls off. Colin Willems leads them to the restart zone. Green in the air. And Stephen Black able to get another great restart. It looks like he falls off a bit, but he's actually having a great restart compared to some of the other ones we've seen tonight. Is Jacob Bowen now stuck on that inside line, and he's going backwards. We see Isaiah Gill coming up into the picture now. He's already moved up into the 8th spot. He's trying to get himself back up to the front here with those fresh tires.
Yeah, he's really making those fresh tires work on the outside. You can really see the speed difference with the run. He's able to get up off the corner on these guys. As we see him on the outside of, I believe that's the 71 there.
Yeah, the 71 of Greg Froelich, and you see him, Isaiah, really running that diamond off, which I love to see. And up front
Yeah,
here,
I'll be curious with these fresh tires if he's not able to take the 72 here on the inside.
see Jacob Bowen all over the back here of Nick Ford in the yellow. Is back out. See, we can see who it was this time. And the good news is we see Austin Blaylock back out on track, so he was able to get that thing fixed up. He's multiple laps down, but with some of the troubles that other people have had, he's going to be able to take an advantage here. But you see right now the at Seguin and the 75 here coming up on Austin Blaylock. But Austin stays to the bottom side. It just looks like a little misjudgment here going into the corner. As you'll see, the 75 just actually looks like he pushes up the track into the side of the 68.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just overdrove it going into 3 or if the truck pulling off in front of him to the apron really messed with him and he just assumed that he was still on the bottom.
Up and this will be a great view of this as well as see Austin Blaylock staying down on the bottom. Oop. You're on the wrong car here. This is also, you can kind of see what happens here is the 68 gets turned right around there. Hard hit, but he's going to be able to continue on. And that was the 75 with Stony Benfield, and this will be the tail of the tail right here. Now, it looks like the truck just kind of pushed up the track. The wheel was turned to the left pretty hard, and Just slid right up the track, unfortunately.
Yeah, just carried too much speed into the corner there. He needed to back that up, probably another 150 feet just to be able to make the corner there. That's the issue with trying to run the bottom line here. You have to slow the truck up a lot, but you can make up time because it is the fastest way around, but you're not able to keep as much throttle time like you would be able to on the outside.
Yep. So, Austin Blaylock's back on track. We're going to pull him in here, kind of a mid-race reporter here. Austin, Zach, and Josh in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, buddy, I got you. How you doing?
Man, you're having a tough night tonight. I see you're back on track, though, a few laps down, but trying to catch the attrition here. See if you can get yourself some points made up here, huh?
Yeah, I tried to run out there. I'm really not having a good night, I don't guess. The truck was too hurt. I had to park it again.
Oh, really? Because I know, me and Zach were talking about it. Every single wreck there that you're involved in, it just seemed like you had nothing to do with it. It just happened right in front of you.
Yeah, I know it. I couldn't avoid it. It just seems to happen that way sometimes at Bristol.
So, as the driver out on track, it just seems like things just happen so fast out there, don't they?
Oh, they do. Yeah, you don't. You're coming around turn 3 or 4, and boom, there they are.
Got it.
You have nowhere to go.
So, yeah, so we're going to let you get back out there helping your teammates. I know you said you parked it for the night, but rough night. Hopefully next week when we move on, we'll be able to have a little better week.
Man, I hope so.
Awesome.
I sure hope so.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, bud.
As
we're in the middle of 3 and 4 here, the pace car is going to take that hard left onto pit road, and we're going to hand it back over to Colin Williams as he gets another great jump on this restart. But Stephen Black's able to keep it close once again. Hopefully, try to make a run at that 18 truck who's led every lap so far tonight.
Yeah, he's kind of put a show on tonight and just put a clinic on, really.
Isaiah Gill just made a big move around the 71 on the outside as he sets his sights on the 28 as well as the 72 here, trying to work those fresh tires back up to the front. He's sitting in P7 right now.
Yeah, another driver we haven't really talked about tonight too much, Alan Warnecki, up there sitting in the 5th spot. He's having a great run tonight. Showing some patience and getting it done.
Yeah, Alan from Andover, Minnesota, out there in the Great Plains, Great North Midwest, I guess you could call that. Yeah. But, he's got a good run for himself tonight. That truck stayed clean all night. He's kept it out of trouble and just has been smart. He started all the way back in 21st. He's up 16 positions for a better night than that.
We got a wreck, big wreck in the back, just behind these guys.
I saw that there in the middle of 3 and 4. It just looks like they got stacked up.
Yeah, it looked like that was TJ Floyd involved in that one. We'll take a look here and we see TJ Floyd with the 42 of Gannon Cypher is just, again, another case of it looks like just a little bit overdrive in the corner or getting tight right in front of Dylan Redding. Dylan gets a piece of it. See Logan Hagerman making the evasive move, getting around it this time. So he's able to avoid one. And from there, it looks like TJ just spins it out in front of everybody and everybody's able to get by. So fortunate for him, not a lot of damage. He's going to be able to get that thing fixed up. And looks like Stephen Black assumes the lead here. As Colin Williams is on pit road getting his service.
Yeah, he's come down to get those fresh tires here. We have about 70 or so laps to go. So he's going to come in and try to put those fresh tires to work. I think he saw Isaiah Gill creeping up through the field and what he's been able to do. So he's had a fast truck all night. I'm sure we'll see him back up front as long as he doesn't get caught up in any incidents.
And, taking tires here is kind of a double-edged sword. It's great because you're going to have faster truck, you're going to have better grip, you're going to be able to maneuver around lap traffic or around cars, but you're also back here in the mess where we've seen a lot of craziness already happening. I mean, his truck's nice and clean because he's been up front all night, but that can change real quickly.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We relate it right back to super speedway racing, like we were just talking. You know, if you're able to keep your vehicle out front, you control the field, so you don't have to worry about any of the hornet's nest that's going on behind you.
This is a great view of the track right here. It doesn't look like there is a bad seat in this place.
Oh, no doubt. Like I said, I've experienced many races here. You know, it's a great view. It's a great atmosphere. I would tell any person who's never been to a NASCAR race, if you're at any way able to, once we get through COVID, even though Bristol, you know, being part of Tennessee, they are allowing limited fans there. I got to experience the All Star race and stuff there last year. It's a great experience. It's a historic track. You know, you have Darrell Waltrip getting as many wins as he did there. You know, a lot of great things have went on there. A lot of tempers have flared. You know, Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth's incident in the night race. You know, it's just a great place to go and really feel the roots of NASCAR. You don't get the feeling at the mile and a half tracks of the cars being right on top of you and just seeing that true sense of speed like you do at a short track like Bristol.
That is for sure, and it's definitely on my bucket list. A definite track I want to check out. The night race, as I mentioned, I think last night as well. The night race always falls around my birthday, so it's something I've always wanted to do. So we're gonna have to make that happen one of these years.
Plenty of great places to go eat around there. If you've never experienced Bristol, you know, there's all sorts of attractions and stuff that's near there, and you're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and Gatlinburg as well.
As the pace car pulls back onto pit road, green flag in the air. Stephen Black this time gets the big jump on Zach McBride in that gold number 3. And down on the bottom, you see Nick Ford trying to make something happen. He's trying to get around Alan Warnecki, but not able to slide. Oh, he catches Alan Warnecki. He slides up the track. But we're going to
He's able to keep it straight. We're going to stay green. That's
Yeah.
really going to help the 18 to get back to the front there of Colin Williams. You see him coming up on the outside here.
And
Oh,
he's,
Jackson, or excuse me, Isaiah Gill gets into the 28. Isaiah's able to hold on to it as he's dirt tracking around the bottom of 3 and 4. He's able to keep it straight, and we're staying green.
and I see that blue cone got stuck underneath his car. I hope that doesn't cause any issues for him here.
And look who's back in the top 10. Colin Williams has worked his way back up to 7th in about 3 laps, so he's really making those fresh tires work for him.
Yeah, and you can see the drive off that he has compared to everybody else's. He's going to work the bottom side here of the 09.
Yeah, he still has a lot of grip in those tires, unlike some of these other guys who haven't pitted or have pitted many laps ago. So he's really making this work. But Stephen Black has kind of set sail away from these guys. Him and Zach McBride have cut out to a large lead, about two seconds or so over third place.
So I don't know
As
if you
Colin
just
slides in
noticed.
the fourth.
I don't know if you just noticed this, but Colin Williams just made up 4 spots in 1 lap.
Yeah, he is coming with a vengeance. He gets back to that top line, he's really going to be able to start clicking off some great lap times. Like I said, they're almost 2.5 seconds back now as he slides into third. So we'll see how quickly he can catch up to Zach McBride and Stephen Black. So we've got some great racing going on behind him as well, back towards the 14th or so position. These guys are stacked in on top of each other 2 by 2 back here.
Yeah, this is a mess of cars back here as we see them. As I like to call it, a gaggle of cars here as they're all jostling for position back here.
How about Greg Froelich in the 71
Oh, we
there?
got a spin here on the front.
Oh, big wreck.
That happened basically right here in front of us as we were watching that battle.
That wreck started at the flag stand and went all the way to the exit of turn 2.
That wreck started off of turn 4 and made it all the way to turn 2. Let's see if we can figure out exactly who was involved in this. I believe it was the 48 of Will Cloud Jr., who's actually a lap down right now. Just kind of caught up in the middle of this as we'll see. The 21 comes off the wall there, catches the 48. It's going to send him right back across the track. And when he does, Oh, and then there's more wrecking. Yep, in front, Jackson Qualley gets turned around as well. Then they all... So there's 2 wrecks. You got the one entering turn 1 and the wreck going on in turn 3. Like, sorry, turn 2. Is that 21
Yeah, but
finishes?
ultimately that all starts with the 48 getting the Cheez-Its knocked out of him, hitting the inside wall there. So he it's a chain reaction. You know, these guys are really fighting for every position before that flag comes out, hoping to nose ahead of the next guy, and it just collects more trucks than what should have been. As we see the 2 of Isaiah Gills on pit road, maybe to get some damage fixed.
Or maybe just get some tires here. Yeah, it doesn't look like he had any damage. I didn't see any fenders pop out or anything, but he definitely made those tires mad by doing his best impression of Ken Block there.
Yeah, I think he's getting prepared for Bristol Dirt that we have coming up in a few months. Hopefully that'll be getting added to the service soon. It'll be definitely interesting to see now if the spring race is going to be on the red clay dirt of Bristol.
Well, I do know, because I pay attention to this kind of thing, that if you look at the iRacing schedule, Bristol Dirt Race is actually on the iRacing schedule. So
Yeah,
I do know we have a service, what's it called, a patch coming in tomorrow. Wonder if
yeah.
that's going to be in that patch tomorrow.
The Pro Invitational they're doing again this year with the professional cup drivers. They're going to run that on Wednesday nights, and it's going to be televised. And one of their first races is Bristol Dirt. And I think they're doing that on purpose, just for the fact that these guys need wheel time behind those cars on dirt. Cup hasn't been on dirt since sometime in the 60s. So it's going to be hard for those guys, especially no one has any data for Bristol Dirt because Bristol hasn't been dirt since the late 90s when they ran the World of Outlaws there. So definitely going to be an interesting race they have going on. Me personally, I wish they would have went to a dedicated dirt track just because we have so many dirt tracks throughout the United States that have great lineage and history, be it Eldora or Knoxville or I-55, any of those tracks. So it's going to be a great spectacle. Can never count out Bruton Smith and the boys to create something great.
Couple quick shout outs here. Mick Olson says Minnesota proud. Noah Walter says no will. And Brian Needy says let's go 2 pedals, 1 clutch racing. I'll be back for the Glen. As look who's back out front here.
Can't count him out. Colin Williams, great jump there off the green flag again as the 7 of Hagerman tries to slide up in front of TJ Floyd, but I don't think he's going to make it.
TJ's going to use that high line momentum to get right around Hagerman. They go into the corner here. Oh, we got one spinning around.
Spin,
oh,
big
wreck. My goodness.
Is that the 98 of Stephen Black? I believe he lost it as he was coming in the middle of 3 there. So what heartbreak there for the 98. He had such a great night going, had run up front, led some laps there earlier. So hopefully he's able to get that truck fixed and get back out there.
I believe he's going to have a reset here. We'll see Stephen Black here. Just gets a little loose there. So I'm going to rewind this because I want you to see this.
Yeah, it looks to me like he had to check up for the 71. I think he had a big run and didn't expect the speed difference and tried to turn down, which really upset the truck and didn't get the entry that he needed into 3 and 4 there. And then after that, he was just a wrecking ball for every other car coming through.
Yep, Dylan Redding caught up in that. Jacob Bone, Isaiah Gill caught up in that as well. Looks like the 72 truck is just able to get it stopped and squeeze on by. That's Alan Wernicke. So, then Wernicke gets plowed from behind by the 47 of Michael Lawrence. So, he thought he was clear of that for a second. You see the 91 slide in there as well. So, a lot of cars now on pit road as Steve. Actually, we see Stephen Black here smoking. I don't know if he's...
Yeah, heavy damage out of that truck.
I don't know if he had to tow. Well, it looks like the truck just... Well, maybe
Yeah, I
not.
think I just heard him over Racecom say that he forgot to check his fast repair, so he may be done for the night.
That's too bad after having... Yep, it looks like he's retiring. After having such a great run last night. A great run tonight. and now he's stuck in pit road having to call it a night.
Yes, we got a little less than 50 laps to go once we go green here. Colin Williams, with those fresh tires, was able to work his way back up to the front extremely quick. That's a good looking 18 truck there.
Yep, Canadian Tire. It's a big store up there in Canada, representing the North. You ever been up to Canada?
I have not. That's one place I've yet to visit. I've been to the border a few times, but never got to cross yet. So definitely on one of my bucket lists. I love to travel and go different places and learn different cultures. So definitely something I would love to go do.
I highly recommend, if you ever get the opportunity to check out the F1 race up in Montreal, go for it. It is a different experience. It's a whole nother culture, and it is a blast. If you like motorsports, you got to check it out. Even if you're not an F1 fan, go into one of those races. It's just a different world.
Yeah, I would love to see some open wheel stuff. I want to go to COTA and check that out. I've got to see some IMSA races when they raced the Roval here last year, so that was great.
Green flag back in the air. TJ Floyd spins the tires on the start. Checks that entire bottom lineup.
Yeah, they done great though by not stacking in and hitting each other. So good situational awareness by those guys. As they're still too wide off of 2, as the 42 is going to try to slide up in line here behind the 3 maybe. If he can get to the top line, he's got it there. The 3 got a good run on the 71 off of 2, and he's going to try to take it maybe 3 wide here as they exit off of 4.
3 wide's not going to work here
Oh,
at Bristol.
into the wall.
As
He caught the wall just a little bit there off 4, but he's able to keep it straight and go back at the 71 again and pick that position back up.
Yeah, sometimes you can just glance off that wall and it doesn't really hurt you. It doesn't really help you. It just kind of gets things going. As 71's now going to be able to slide. No, he's going to try to stay on the bottom down here.
Oh, as we see a wreck back here in the back, it looks like the 68 was into the wall. Him and the 20 got together.
Caution is out. You said it was the 68?
Yeah, Dave Bacino got caught up. Him and the 20 got together there off the exit of 2. Nicholas Ford and kind of got pinched up into the wall.
We'll take the look here. Pacino here is, yeah, it looks like Nick Ford just kind of over. You see the right front smoking on that truck. He definitely got in there way too hot. Gets in the back of Pacino. Isaiah Gill able to avoid it.
Yeah, he stuck through barely on the bottom side. Unfortunately, the 7 of Hagerman wasn't so lucky.
Michael Lawrence getting a piece of that as well. Looks like Chapu. Looks like he just tried to avoid it and just spun out. I see the 21, the 00 back there. Getting involved in this as well.
Yeah, Chapu didn't really have anywhere to go after Hagerman come back up the track, so I think he was trying to turn down and just lost it.
And yeah, if we look at, go back here, we're going to rewind this just a little bit here. We're going to use a different camera view here because I saw a lot of smoke off that right front of Nick Ford.
Yeah, he just drove that truck in way too hard, and by the time he realized it was too deep, it was too late for him to back it down and got up into the 68 there, Bacino.
So yeah, we were talking about F1 racing for a second, and I am a huge motorsports fan. If it's got motor and it's loud and fast, I'm all about it. And I had the opportunity to go to the Formula One race up there, and it was just a different world. It was a lot of fun. You got to go anywhere on the track you want to, but the interesting thing is the different smells. You know how race cars have that certain smell. Well, you've got 20 different cars running 10 different gasolines, and it's just a blast. I mean, it's just a whole new world.
I love the dedication of the F1 fans. You know, they pull for their driver no matter where they go, as far as manufacturer or team that they're driving for. But you know, they all sit in their different sections. You know, you have your Ferrari guys over here, you have your Renault guys over here, you have your Red Bull guys over here. It's great to see. You know, it's not like a NASCAR race. You know, where they're spread out. You know, these drivers know where their fans are sitting, so you know they go salute them after races. I think it's a great atmosphere, a lot different than what we see, you know, as far as American racing goes.
Yeah, I've been a Ferrari fan for a long time. I was a Michael Schumacher fan for a long time, and you know, obviously I've been a Sebastian Vettel fan as well. So it's tough to see him leave Ferrari, but should be
You got
interesting.
some great young talent there, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. As the pace car is getting ready to pull off here, we're going back green flag racing. Colin Willems on that outside, which we've seen the outside prevail all night again, gets that great jump off. And he just checks out right away.
Yeah, just walks off and leaves these guys to fight for themselves here for third, fourth, and fifth.
Isaiah Gill with the strong move to the bottom here. He saw the checkup and he dove to the bottom to get around it. Looks like that's
Yeah,
going
he's
to
got
work out in his favor.
backed up a little bit there by the 72 though, and it's going to allow the 17 of Jackson Quality to work back around on the outside. Still trying to make that bottom line work though. I'll give him credit. He's not giving up on it as he's trying to clear the 74 here and just can't get the momentum and drive off that he needs. He might be able to do it here and slide right up in front of that 74.
You see Michael Provost now stuck on the bottom. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 71 and the 42. And Isaiah Gill just kind of stuck on that bottom, not being able to go anywhere.
These guys continue to push hard here and create some good racing, trying to make that bottom line work the best they can, but it's extremely difficult as we see, you know, he's still stuck on the bottom here.
See TJ Floyd in those fresh tires now. He's trying to come up through the mix here. He's going to try and make it 3 wide here for a second. Huh? He thinks better of it.
Yeah, definitely good for him to check up there. That wasn't a point in time where it needed to be pushed 3 wide, so that was great situational awareness, and he's able to clear him on the outside and set sights on the 74. As Isaiah Gill still making that bottom line work, he's trying to put the works on Quali.
As he gets around Jackson Quali here, he's going to slide up in front here.
Yeah, one in the wall there off of 4, but they're able to keep it straight. As Colin Williams has absolute field, he's almost out to a 3.5 second lead. I believe it's 3.2 seconds right now. So just continuing to show that he's the class of the field and not, because he's going to be getting into lap traffic here before too long.
Yeah, you can see.
How about Greg Froelich up here in second? Started in the 30th position. He's up 28 positions. Great night for him in the 71.
Yep, just falls back to third here, and now Isaiah Gill is going to be in that first spot. Just trying to get the battle box up there to see the lead growing, but Isaiah's now starting to cut into that lead.
Yes, we've got a good battle here between Jackson Quali and TJ Floyd. TJ, you know, is on those fresh tires trying to make that bottom line work as we see the 42 again, and Cypress get into him.
Yep. Oh, Michael White involved as well, and yellow flag is back out. And that kind of happened right there as we were watching it, but we'll be able to see if we can see a little better view here of what happened. As we see TJ Floyd here.
TJ's on the bottom, and he just doesn't check up in time, doesn't realize that he's got the run just because of those fresh tires, and just barely touches the left rear of that 42. And then at that point, the guys behind him, there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, and as in TJ's defense there, typically you expect that guy on the outside to be running up a lot higher than the middle of the track. And you see Nick Ford come barreling in here as well. That's the 00, getting caught up in that as well. Just a tough turn of events for these guys.
As we're still here clicking off laps, we're going to have probably about 20 to go when we come to take the green here.
It looks like we have about 11 cars on the lead lap right now.
Yep, 11 cars. So small group left here that's still in contention. It's not got any damage or anything like that. That's terminal. So they're able to get back out here and battle for these last 20 laps. Hopefully we'll get a good green run to the end. So we're looking at their unlucky number 13th caution for the night.
Yeah, Brian Merrill Jr. in that 11th spot. He's going to be the last car on the lead lap. As you can see, a lot of cars out, a lot of attrition tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, these guys have had to fight through a lot of adversity and keep these trucks out here going, even if you've got damage, just to try to salvage a good points night if you're in the points battle for this championship. So that's the big thing. You know, even if you do get caught up in an incident, you've got to look at the bigger picture in the longer run. You know, it's a long season and all points matter. You can still make your way into the playoff, you know, on points. If you have a bad point night, you just need to finish with something.
And yeah, great run tonight by Greg Froelich. I know you were just talking about him earlier. He up 28 positions, just kind of out of nowhere. Just came up here and started trying to challenge for the lead.
Yeah, Jackson Qualley, you know, he's up 25 positions. You have Michael Proval up 20 positions. You know, these guys have made a great night out of poor qualifying. You know, they've dodged the wrecks, they've kept their trucks clean for the most part, and here they are at the end of the race, going to hopefully get a good finish for them.
Jackson Qualley, that young man. Just
Youngest in the field, I believe,
yeah, I
correct?
believe he's like 12 years old. Yeah, and he's able to hold his own out here with some of these guys. We see Froelich now stuck on that bottom lane. He's hanging back a little bit. He's trying to time this restart so he can try to stay up there. But green flag in the air. Looks like he spun his tires just a little bit. Allows Colin Williams to really get a good jump here. And right behind Michael Proval, trying to work underneath that 71.
As we've seen I believe it was 74 in the wall there off at 2, but they're able to keep it straight and we're staying green. Isaiah Gill works on the outside of I believe it's Provault there, and he's able to clear him, and he's going to go after Froelich.
Man, what a run here. He's going to get
What a move on the bottom.
Yeah, he's going to
Slide
get
job right in front of him.
right around him, and now he's going to set his sights on Colin Williams.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe tonight the race is for second. I think Colin has a very strong truck as long as he doesn't get caught up in any incidents. I don't know if Isaiah has anything for him. Jackson Qualley, you know, working the bottom there, trying to make it around the 42 of Gannon Cyphers. I don't believe he's going to be able to make the pass off of 2.
Oh, check up here, and Cyphers gets another shot in the back. He's got a target on the back of that truck tonight. It seems like everybody's been tapping that back bumper.
Yeah, he's done great, though, with keeping it straight. Really will in that truck tonight. Big move there on the bottom as the 71 gets kind of checked up by the 72 of Warnecki. It allows the 42 to slip on by him and set his sights on P4.
Yep, here comes TJ Floyd now on that bottom lane as well, trying to get around Greg Froelich. And either way, Greg's having a great run tonight as we have caution back out on the track. So we're going to see dial up here and see exactly what happened. Oh. This happens, the 91 right in front of Dylan Redding here just bounces off the wall. Whoops. Sorry about that. So I hit the slow motion button and hit the fast motion button. You see, catches the wall here right in front of Dylan Redding. Comes back across his nose, and unfortunately, nothing Dylan could do. He thought he was going to be by it, and tough night for Dylan.
Yeah, in that situation, there's nothing that Dylan could have done any differently, no matter what, to avoid that. He was just wrong place, wrong time, victim of circumstance.
So you said you've been to Coda for the IMSA racing?
No. I would love to go to Coda
Oh,
for
okay.
Formula One. I was able to go when they done the IMSA in Charlotte when they ran the Roval this past fall. So, and
IMSA
that rain
racing,
soaked grass they had down there. So,
IMSA racing is a lot of fun. I live about an hour and a half from Lime Rock, and I was able to go down to Lime Rock a few years ago, about 3 years back. And the cool thing about that track is your admission includes pit passes. So I was able to hang out in the pits for pretty much the entire race. It was just a lot of fun being that close to those cars.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
one of the things I enjoy about those IMSA cars is the unique engine sounds that each vehicle has. You know, at the Roval, they didn't run any prototypes. It was all GTD and GTE cars. So, you know, you got to really hear the different sounds of the Lambos, the Ferraris, the Corvettes. You know, each and every manufacturer has their own unique sound and unique drive.
for sure. And we that race they had just the GT cars for the main event. They did have some prototypes, some LMP2 and 3 cars there, and as a separate race. And then they had the Continental Tire Series as well, the Porsches and the Mini Coopers and the Miatas, which was a really fun race to watch as well. And Lime Rock is a cool place to watch a race. You've got that big hill there just past the S's, or just before just past the S's there, and man, it's a cool place to watch a race. I got a couple messages here on Facebook. We see Michael Lawrence saying, "Blah, rough night tonight." Yeah, I know it was a tough night for a lot of people tonight. And Michael Lawrence also saying, "I wouldn't count Gil out."
Yeah, he really started to reel in Williams there towards the end of that run before the caution come out. When I looked up last, he was only about 3/10 behind him. So he's going to give him a run for his money here. He just needs to try to get a good restart. I do believe he has fresher tires than Colin right now.
Yep, and he'll be restarting on the inside though, and I know I don't want to bring it up too much, but I'm sure he's having flashbacks of Atlanta in his mind right now. But he's going to put that behind him and hopefully have a great restart here and put some pressure on Colin Willems. We already see some checking up and some sportsmanship, gamesmanship in the back there. As green flag's back in the air. Al Warnecki on the outside of Isaiah Gill trying to make something happen, but Isaiah with those fresher tires, I believe is going to be able to get him here as they go through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, he needs to try to clear him quick here because there's only going to be 8 to go when they cross the line, and these laps go quickly. So if he's going to do anything, he's going to have to push hard and quick.
Warnecki with the power move on the outside to get around Isaiah Gill.
As we have a wreck in the middle of 3, they're able to keep it straight, though. I don't think the caution's going to come out.
Nope, no yellow. We are going to stay green, and Alan Warnecki now setting his sights on Colin Willems.
Warnecki's closing that gap. He's able to run that outside extremely well. He closed the gap by about 2 trucks there. He's only about 3/10 behind him as we're coming around with 6 to go. But Gill's starting to come on strong. I think those tires are coming up the temp, and he's figuring it out. So we might have a 3-way battle for the lead before this is said and over with. Will we see a bump and run? Maybe someone going to try to rattle his cage if they can get to him.
You see Isaiah Gill now stocking that 72 machine.
Going to try to make that bottom line work. Going to get a good run off of 4 here coming to the line. But still the 72 is powering around on the outside, just getting that run off the corner.
And you know who's loving seeing this battle going on right now is that 18 machine, Colin Willems.
We're going to be working with some lap traffic here soon. That's going to play a factor. If these guys stay 2 by 2 behind them, that's going to allow Colin to get by even further.
As they were just 3 wide. Oh, Isaiah Gill on the side of the 71. They keep it straight.
What a battle here.
As the popsicle sticks are in the air, 2 to go. Do either one of them have anything for Colin? And can they keep it green for another lap to keep this thing going as Isaiah now jumps back to the bottom?
Drove it in hard there in the 4 as the white flag's out for Colin Williams as he tries to bring it around one last lap. But we're focused on this battle for second here as he's just barely a half a truck off of him as they go into 3 and 4. Is he going to try to slide up in there? They keep it clean off of 4. It's going to be a drag race to the finish line, and Warnecki brings it home P2, but our big winner tonight, Colin Williams.
Colin Williams going back to back, winning the Cup Series last night. Showing he can get it done here in the Truck Series as well. What a great run for Colin tonight. As we will take, while he brings it around here and gets ready to burn it down. A well-deserved victory. With a little questionable strategy. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to make that strategy work out, but looks like he does. As just like last night, gets right to that start-finish line. And
yeah, I think he really benefited from Warnecki and Gill really going at it there for second place and catching the lap traffic in which he did. He was able to get through it pretty quickly, and he caught him on a straightaway where Gill and Warnecki caught him in the middle of the corner there.
So we'll take a look at our results here. Colin Williams with the win. Alan Warnecki, Isaiah Gill are top 3. Gan Cyphers, who had a bit of a rough night tonight, ends up coming P4, and TJ Floyd having a great battle back for P5. Biggest move of the race. TJ Floyd, 24 spots.
Yeah, great move by him up to bring home a top 5. And then you see Jackson Qualley there. We talked about him in 6th, starting 28th. He was up 22 positions, so that's awesome for him. Brian Morrell Jr. coming home 7th. Froelich, 8th. Michael Provault in 9th. Great finish for him as well. Nicholas Ford rounding out your top 10.
So we're going to pull Isaiah into the booth here. Isaiah, you got Zach and Josh in the booth. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Man, great job coming home P3. I thought you were going to have a little bit there for Colin at the end, but you and Alan put on quite the show there at the end, and glad to see you back here after not being able to make the race last night.
Yeah, short track's my favorite thing. Use bumper, don't lift. But yeah, I feel like me and 72 had something for Colin. Just got battling and couldn't make a move or catch him at the last second.
Yeah, Isaiah, do you think that if you guys wouldn't have caught the lap traffic where you did, you might have had a couple more laps to be able to figure out, what you needed to do with the 18 of Colin? Because it looked like you and the 72 really had to check up and run some different lines to be able to get around those guys cleanly.
Yeah, I could say that, but I actually wanted to get up there when he caught that lap traffic to try to, force him up into them and use him as a pick. But fortunately, me and 72 were battling, so we couldn't make a move on him.
Well, Isaiah, I gotta say something. I'm sorry I have to bring this up, but on that last restart, starting P2 on the inside, were you thinking about last week at all about having to get a good restart there, or were you just worried about trying to get around that 18?
It was more because I definitely had tires, so I wasn't worried about wheel spin and what happened. Last week we're not gonna talk about it, but yeah, he was there. He was fast. Nothing we can really do about it tonight.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Oh, of course, like to thank Gil's Dump Truck Service as always, sponsoring Watkins Gun, by the way, and like to thank Brian Canuti and the rest of my team with TJ Floyd and the rest of the guys.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the top 3. Good points night for you tonight, and we move on to Watkins Glen next week, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's Nudie's favorite track for sure with the road racing. So hope to see you guys pull some teammate work next week.
Yeah, no teammates with him, but yeah.
All right, take care. All right, now we're gonna pull in our second place finisher here, Alan Warnecki. Alan, it's Josh and Zach in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, 10-4, I got yes.
Hey, great way to come home second place tonight. kind of came out of nowhere, saved that truck, and you were there at the end. And I thought you and Isaiah might have had something for Colin there at the end. Were you saving tires, or were you able to do something different than everybody else?
Colin was fast all day on old tires or new tires. Me and Isaiah just got tied up in lap traffic trying to catch him. It was clean racing. Colin just had the faster truck most of the day.
Yeah, Alan, you were able to keep your truck clean all night tonight, it looked like. What were you doing to keep yourself out of trouble as far as getting caught up in these accidents?
I got turned around and into the wall a couple times. Just kind of just trying to stay clean and give everyone room to get around everybody.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight, or any shout outs?
Shout out to just the guys in the league, Max running this whole ship. Guys on the Apex Racing team, good bunch of guys, and get some practice laps in, so that's always helpful.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish. Good points tonight for you, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And finally, we're going to pull in our winner here, Colin Williams. Colin, back-to-back nights, both Cup Series and Truck Series. Man, great finish there. But you were fast all night. Were the tires that much of a difference tonight for you?
Yeah, it was tough to say tonight. I mean, with all the cautions, every 5 or 6 laps, the tires never really got hot, so I feel like they were able to last quite a bit longer than they normally would have.
Yeah, Colin, we watched you all night on those restarts, be able to just absolutely walk away from the field. What were you doing? Were you changing the points that you were taking off, or were you just trying to be consistent and give good throttle inputs?
To be honest, it depended on who I had on the inside. There's a lot of restarts. I had the same guy on the inside, so for him, I was trying to switch it up, and then I'd have somebody new, so I'd do what I normally do and just kind of play off of how far back they were sitting, trying to jump the restart. But yeah, Isaiah Gill, I mean, he had the best restarts on the inside of me all night for sure.
Yeah, and I asked him after last week if that was crossing his mind about how his restarts were last week to this week. And I don't know if that was crossing your mind, because we know he had some restart issues last week. If you were thinking maybe he might get a little wheel spin, you'd be able to pull away.
I know he's taking enough guff about that, so I figured he'd take it easy on the restarts, and he did. No, he did a good job.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Same crew. I got my wife Cassie, Nick, and Cora, and if there's anybody else, thanks.
Yeah, you always seem to have the biggest fan club on Facebook, so it's nice to see all them guys and gals supporting you and watching you on our broadcast. So, again, congratulations on the win. Another nice points night for you tonight, and I know you're 20th coming into the race because of the issues you had at Daytona, but the win last week and win this week, that's going to help you out tremendously.
No, it's like you said, I've had some bad luck the first few weeks, so it's I'm going to ride this good luck as long as it lasts. So.
For sure, man. Well, again, congratulations. I'm sure we'll talk to you again. I don't know how you are on the road courses, but we got the road course coming up next week.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, have a great week, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks.
So, Zach, minus the cautions tonight, it was a fantastic race there towards the end, having those guys battling it out. Isaiah Gill and Alan Warnecki there battling it out at the end.
Yeah, those last 10 laps is what we were waiting for, Great excitement, great racing, close racing. Everyone was respectful there towards the end. We didn't see the chrome horn come out at all. So that's a lot of the things that you normally come to accustomed to here at Bristol. So great race by these guys tonight. Coming up, I believe next week they have Phoenix and then Watkins Glen. So we'll be taking a trip out to the desert unless that's changed.
Nope,
and
that's right. It is Phoenix next week. You're
we'll
right.
We'll see a good flat track race out there. Phoenix is my most favorite track on the service, even though I am a Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee guy. I love Bristol and short tracks, but I love Phoenix for some reason. It just clicks for me, so I can't wait to see these guys get out there and slide around.
Yeah, and as we're looking at the results here, a lot of drivers with some really, really tough nights. Austin Blaylock, Bailey Jones, Dustin Dean, Jimmy McFarland having, you know, having to retire very, very early in the race. And, we'll have to move on to next week to Phoenix and see if they can get these things working. Phoenix, another mile track. Runs like a short track, very flat. Should be fun to watch.
Yeah, these guys, that come out with bad finishes tonight, they just need to focus ahead and realize it is a long season. We're only 3 races in after tonight, so they can make up from their mistakes tonight and continue to move forward.
Absolutely. So, again, thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Intensity Broad 1 at twitter.com. Interact with us. We like our fan interaction. We like to hear from you and let us know what you think. If there's anything we can do better, we'll take the criticism. We'll take the good with the bad, and we want to make ourselves better so we can entertain you better. So, again, I'm Josh Hall. I've been joined tonight by Zach Wilson. As Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.